Okay, let's talk about something that's hiding in plain sight. On a blazing hot summer day, you've definitely felt it. You walk past an apartment building and get hit with that blast of scorching air from the back of an AC unit. It's just part of city life, right? Well, what if it didn't have to be? What if we could wrap those noisy boxes in a kind of high-tech sleeve that cools the air, cleans it, and even powers itself? Today, we're diving into a really clever concept that's aiming to do exactly that. And it all starts with this weird paradox, doesn't it? The very same devices we all rely on to stay comfortable inside are actually making the problem worse for everyone outside. So to really get why this new invention is so cool, we have to first understand the problem it's trying to solve. Right, here's the heart of the issue. Your AC unit isn't some magic box that makes heat disappear. Nope. It just moves it from inside your apartment to outside. Now multiply that by millions of units, all dumping this superheated air, we're talking up to 60 degrees Celsius, into our streets. It literally raises the temperature of the whole neighborhood. This is the urban heat island effect, and it's a nasty, vicious cycle. Hotter cities mean we need more AC, which, you guessed it, makes our cities even hotter. So how in the world do you break a cycle like that? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. A team of researchers has come up with a surprisingly elegant fix that thinks outside the box, or, right on the box. So, say hello to the Pollen Radiative Sleeve, or PRS for short. What's so amazing about this idea is that it's not a one-trick pony. It's a single snap-on sleeve that does three incredible things. First, it helps radiate heat away, not into the street, but straight up into the cold of deep space. But wait, there's more. It also uses a really unique filter to literally clean the air, and it generates its own power. Okay, quick reality check. You can't run out and buy one of these just yet. This idea is at what's called Technology Readiness Level 3. All that means is it's past the, hey, what if stage, and its main ideas are being tested and proven to work in a lab. So it's a serious concept, and it's on a clear path to becoming a real thing. All right, so the big question. How does one sleeve do three totally different jobs at once? Well, the genius here is how it layers these different technologies together. It's a real triple threat, so let's break down how each part works. First up, the cooling. This is so cool. The outer skin of the sleeve uses something called passive daytime radiative cooling. The easiest way to think about it is like a magic mirror. For one, it reflects nearly all the sunlight that hits it, so it doesn't heat up. But here's the magic part. It's designed to beam heat away as infrared light in a very specific way. It uses a kind of express lane through our atmosphere, shooting the heat straight out into the cold of space. It's literally using the universe as a giant heat sink. How cool is that? Second, the filtering. And honestly, this part is just brilliantly weird and innovative. Inside the sleeve, there's a filter that's basically a flexible magnetic carpet. Get this, it's made from hollowed-out pollen grains that are coated in iron oxide, which is pretty much just rust. This creates a surface that's amazing at grabbing those tiny, nasty dust particles, the PM 2.5, out of the city air. And because it's magnetic, cleaning it is super simple. You just turn off the magnet, and the dust falls right off into a little tray. And number 3, it powers itself. The sleeve has a tiny device inside called a triboelectric nanogenerator. That's a mouthful, but what it does is pretty simple. It uses the static electricity created by the AC unit's own fan blowing air through the sleeve to generate a little bit of power. It's not going to run your microwave or anything, but it's more than enough to power some onboard sensors or an indicator light, all without needing any wires. It's totally self-sufficient. And these aren't just pie-in-the-sky ideas. The team has set some really clear goals. For the cooling skin, they're aiming for over 95% efficiency in shooting that heat out into space. For the dust filter, the goal is to grab at least half of all the fine particles that pass through it. And for power, it just needs to generate enough to run its own smarts. These are the numbers it has to hit to prove it really works. You know, having cool technology is one thing, but making it actually work in the real world is a whole other challenge. And what's great about the PRS concept is that it's already full of these clever little design details that show they're thinking about life on an actual city balcony. I mean, look at these smart touches. The zebra stripes, they're not just for looks. That pattern actually messes with the vision of birds and insects and discourages them from landing on it. The skin itself has a UV guard built in so the sun doesn't destroy it, plus a water-repellent coat to stop mold from growing. And the whole dust collection system is designed to be super easy for anyone to maintain. Okay, so this all sounds incredibly promising, right? But with any new tech, you gotta be realistic. So let's take a balanced look. What's the real, measurable impact this could have, and what are the big hurdles they still need to figure out? This number, this is the key. For a typical small air conditioner, this sleeve could get rid of up to 100 watts of heat continuously all day long. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but think of it this way. It's like removing the heat from a bright, old-school 100-watt light bulb that's been left on forever. Over a whole summer, that adds up to real, actual savings on your energy bill. So on the one hand, the benefits are pretty clear. You save money on electricity, your balcony is actually a cooler place to be, and the air around you is cleaner. But there are real challenges too. You have to make sure the sleeve doesn't block the airflow and make the AC's fan work harder. That would just cancel out the savings. And what happens in the winter when you definitely don't want extra cooling? Plus, you have to think about long-term durability and safety codes. But what's really encouraging here is that the designers are already way ahead of us. They've thought about these risks and have answers. Worried about blocking the fan? The internal frame will be a wide-open honeycomb design. The winter problem? They're thinking either a simple cover you pop on for the season, or maybe even a smart material that can turn off the cooling effect. And if you're worried about using pollen, don't be. It's completely sealed and encapsulated, so there's zero risk of allergens escaping. Okay, so we've got a fantastic concept with smart solutions for its biggest challenges. So what's the plan? What's the roadmap for getting the pollen radiative sleeve out of the lab and onto our balconies? The path forward is actually pretty straightforward. Right now, they're in the lab testing phase. The very next step is to take it out into the real world with a small field pilot. We're talking maybe 10 apartments. If that goes well, the long-term dream is to work directly with the big AC manufacturers to build this technology right into their brand new units from the start. And that first pilot test is absolutely critical. This is where the rubber meets the road. For a couple of months in the heat of summer, researchers are going to track everything. They'll compare the energy use, the temperatures, and the air quality of AC units with the sleeve against identical units without it. This is the test that will give them the hard data to prove if this thing can really deliver on its promises. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating thought. The PRS is such a perfect example of looking at a totally normal, everyday object and seeing a chance for incredible innovation. It really makes you wonder, what else is hiding in plain sight? What other boring parts of our cities could be completely reinvented to help build a cooler, cleaner, and smarter future for everyone?